Hey guys, I'm back. Eugene Segovia here with EZStudRack.com. This time I'm going to show you a recessed storage in your wall on a sheetrock garage. Check it out. We notched out the sheetrock, exposed the studs, attached the EZStudRack to the studs, and now you've got all this storage on the wall that you never had before. Can you imagine? Now you got all this room to park your car. Before we had some shelves and they always got cluttered. Oh, my door's dinged. I sure wish there was a way to get rid of this clutter in my garage. Why did they get cluttered? Because they're big shelves. Big shelves always cause clutter. Now, we recessed into the wall, added EZStudRacks. Now you got one row deep storage. When you use an item, you're going to only have one spot left you can put it in. So you're always going to tend to put things back. And you know what? As your items change, so does your shelving. You just move it up and down. You eliminate that wasted space between the shelves. Look at that, hardly any space in there. Oh, that's where that went. See how easy it is to find something? It's only one spot you put it back. One row deep storage. Now keep looking at the rest of this video and I'll show you how I did this. Stop letting clutter stress you out. Hit that subscribe button and don't forget that little bell icon so you don't miss out on ways to get organized and stay organized. What we're going to do today is we're going to get rid of this cluttered shelving. This is a typical shelf that you would buy. When you put it together, you start off with it being organized, but then you all of a sudden start throwing stuff on there. When you use something, you end up putting it in different locations because there's no particular spot to put it in. Also, what you see here is a lot of wasted space between the shelves. So not only is it cluttered, you got a lot of wasted space, and it takes up a lot of room, almost 16 inches of garage space. So what we'll do is we'll start off by just taking everything out, just removing it. We're going to come in and we're going to notch out this sheetrock. This is an exterior wall. What I mean by exterior, other side of this garage, outside. The one that goes to your house will be insulated, so we will do something different with that wall. This wall though, we will notch out. It won't have insulation, and we'll create easily adjustable shelving between the studs using EZStudRacks. Okay, we've removed all the clutter. The shelving, we just put it aside, and now we're going to locate the studs. I just got a stud finder here. This particular stud finder has an electrical sensor on it, just in case there's some wiring in the wall. Alright, stud there, stud there, stud there, stud there. So these are the options that I have right now. I could continue on, but for this demonstration we're just going to do one little section here. I'm just going to go all the way up. I'll go all the way up and as far down as I can. This particular garage does have some, looks like a trim work there, so I'll just go as far down as I can. Now we're going to see how high I can go on this wall. Okay, so there's just start of a stud right here. So I just mark a line there. What I'm going to do is, what we'll do now, since we found the stud, I want to make it as clean as possible. So the stud is supposed to be level, but I always want to cut a straight line, so I'm just going to get my level. So I've got my line across there. This is a garage, so I'm not really too concerned about it looking perfect. As you can see, the wall's been dinged up before and everything. So what I'm going to use to cut this is I just went and bought one of these Sonic Crafter. All it does is this. This particular blade that I got is a half circle. And what I'll do is I'll find the stud going across, and then I'll stop. And then I'll demonstrate what I'll do after that. What I'm going to do now is I just went and spent $3 and bought 2 of these. These are Hacksaw Blades. And the reason I have these, I like to find the edge of the stud. So I just stick it in there and just keep going. There we go, edge of the stud right there. Come across the other way, edge of the stud there. To double check it, there we go. Edge of the stud. Now you're probably wondering why I'm doing that. Is that tool can find it, but not the exact edge of it. And once I cut out this edge, I'm going to use the same piece of sheetrock and just use it as a backdrop. Do the same thing down at the bottom. I'm just going to pick a spot of how far down I want to go. You know, I don't want to be reaching down too far to get items. Let's just say, I'm just going to pick a number, 12 inches. We'll just mark it right there. Where's the stud? The stud's going to be about right there. And across there. Straight edge again. Level. This gives me an idea. One, it gives me a straight line, and then gives me an idea of where the studs are going to be. Now to find the studs, okay, there's the stud. Right there, around, stud. Next step, just because this isn't the first time I've done it, I'm going to get some masking tape, go from here, that kind of gives me a little rough guide. It helps to take the tape off the roll. Now with this guide, what I'm doing is I'm trying to locate the stud so it follows the stud. The tape is just a guide, but I'm actually trying to push it to the side a little bit to find the stud. We'll do the same thing on the other side. If I was to do this again, I think what I would do is I would not cut the top. Cut the bottom, cut both sides, that way this thing will be held in place. And then cut the top, because I can support all this. Actually, I did leave a little bit up here that's not notched out, so hopefully that'll support it. The reason I like to put the tape here is as I was going, I noticed that it started coming away from the tape. So I kind of paused, I came back, and I pushed it up against to get closer to the tape, and sure enough, it was close to being off the stud. So as you can see here, we still kind of missed the stud a little bit. When we cut the piece of sheetrock out, what we noticed is that the studs weren't exactly straight. So our tape, using it as a guide, kind of misled us into cutting the sheetrock a little bit off the stud, which is okay. This has got a backboard on it that we could use as the back, or we could put the piece of sheetrock. We'll play it by ear, see how it works out. But for this, we just go in and clean it up. What we're going to do next is, after we've cleaned everything up, I just got some leftover 2x4 material, and we're going to create the support for the bottom shelf. All I'm doing is I pre-drilled the holes just to make it easier. I'll come in here, I'll have a little level. Just make it, I mean, remember, this isn't rocket science, it doesn't have to be perfect. Come in here. Close enough. All this is so we can nail up our bottom board on it. Eugene's to go over here with a quick tip. When I went and purchased this 1x6, I started comparing prices, and a 1x8 for a few pennies more. You can buy 1x12s, 1x10s. Just keep that in mind when you're purchasing lumber. And a good tip as well is when you look down it like this, you can tell whether it's straight or not. Remember, we're only going to be using short pieces of board, so does it have to be perfectly straight? No, not for what we're using it for. Also, when you look at the end grain, make sure that you try not to get the center piece. So if there's a little circle here, then what you're going to notice is that your board's going to start splitting. And I'll show you an example of that. So as you can see, this has got bigger circles. That means it's telling us not closer to the center of the tree. This one here, you can tell is almost at the center of the tree. Well, it splits really easy. That's just my observation, what I've noticed. So we've cut our shelf. I've put the sheetrock on the back and I'm resting it, as you can see, right on the little studs that I cut. There's a gap in here. You can see there's a small gap. I'm not going to be too concerned about that. This is a garage. We just come in here and we're going to put our shelf, line it up to the front, and then we'll screw it in. I'm just using regular drywall screws. I should have pre-drilled it, ended up splitting it, but that's fine. It's just the bottom shelf. Remember, this is a garage. Okay, so our next step is to take and cut a shelf out and install your EZStudRacks. So the EZStudRacks are, if you look at my other installation videos, I kind of go through it step by step on how to install them. We'll just start from the bottom. We'll just start from here and work our way up. One, there's two. I recommend, if you look at the installation instructions, to put 4 screws. Now, if you have heavier items, put more screws. Okay, there's your first EZStudRack. We'll come in and get the other one in there. Now, if everything's level, this shelf should be level because we just rest the EZStudRack. Pretty close to being level, which is good. So we just come in here. From here on out, we just keep installing up. I won't bore you with all the details of the next steps and all that. I'll just show you the final product. What we're going to do at this point is we're going to start organizing the shelf. So here's the original shelf that we started with. I'm going to put as much as we can in this particular section just to demonstrate how much room we gain. I'll cut the shelves as I look and see what needs to go on. I cut a 1x6. So all these items are going to require the deeper shelves. So I'm going to go ahead and cut 1, 2, 3, about 4 or 5 shelves. Now I know what you're asking. Well, look, why don't you just put one shelf and stack them? I want to try to avoid the double stacking because when you use an item, you're going to pull it out. You're always going to put it back in the same spot. Here's where the EZStudRack really starts to show off. Big items can go on big shelves, we know that. They're always going to get cluttered up, stacked, moved around. But when it comes to the little items, we're going to do 1 row deep storage. So a lot of these shelves I'm going to cut, they're going to be 1x4s, and we're going to stack all the little items. Now with EZStudRack's 1 row deep storage, you got 1 row, you see what you got, you can stand back and say, oh, that's where that went, oh, that's where that is. You use it, you always put it back. Everything is easily adjustable, so you can move your shelves up and down to eliminate that wasted space. You got unlimited flexibility. Look at this. You got stuff in the middle you can store. You're not just limited to 1x4s. Your wood can stick out as far as you need it. Pretty cool. EZStudRack's 1 row deep storage. And I'm out.